you watch the news, and please, for heaven's sake, do watch the news, you will no doubt recognize my next guest. Ken Jefferson was a longtime public face of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. He is now running to be the next sheriff. Nice to see you.
It's been a while.
It's been, what, 4 or 5 months now?
It's been a while.
Yeah. So your campaign slogan is Jacksonville deserves better. Is the implication Jacksonville deserves better than Sheriff Rutherford?
Well, that's not a slight on anyone. My slogan says Jacksonville deserves better. And that's not to say that the current administration or even the previous administration has done a bad job. We can do better. There's always room for improvement. And that's the essence of my slogan. There's room for improvement. For the last 10 years, we've had the recognition of being known as the murder capital of Florida. We can do better than that. I believe we can do better than that.
Violent crime is down. So why isn't that enough for you to be happy with how the law enforcement is heading in this county?
That's a good point, Shannon. And violent crime is down based on the statistics that is being reported right now. It's down all over the state, but we're still the highest. We're down, but we're still the highest. We can do better than that. I think that we need to implement some programs, some new programs, to be a little more proactive than reactive.
Programs like what?
Well, you know, you got to hit it at the core with the murder rate. I talk to people, citizens all over the city, and I tell them that the index shows that the crimes are down, but they're saying, well, that's not my perception. That's not my perception. So we've got to hit it at the core of the problem. We've got to go back into the communities and interact with the people. We've got to befriend them again. We being the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has to befriend the community again so that we can start getting to the root of the matter. So
is do you think the public perception, at least for a lot of the public, is that they're on opposite sides with officers?
There's a great disconnect with the community, between the community and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. I hear it every day. There are some folks in certain pockets of our community that feel disenfranchised. They feel that they see the officers riding by back and forth, but they have no relationship with them. They want to work with the police. I really believe they want to help restore their neighborhoods, but they feel this great disconnect.
So I'm very curious. Obviously, I know you, and the public knows you from being the public face of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. So at what point were you on the job in uniform, and you thought, you know, I really could run this this department better than the current guy?
Well, I was with the Sheriff's Office for the past 24 years. I retired in October of last year. And it seems like I've been retired longer than that. It's just been since October. And I've been urged to run years ago, but I had no inclination that I would even give it a serious thought. But the last 18 months of my career, I began to give it some serious thought and think about it, and then still being urged by various people, and then being tired of the label, the murder capital. And then I thought about, you know what, 8 years really is enough. If we were to respect term limits and 2 terms for a sheriff in that position really is enough, I made the decision that I would run.
In what areas do you think Sheriff Rutherford's just not getting it done?
I think that the community is not connected the way we need to be with the Sheriff's Office. I think that we need to be more proactive with certain things when it comes down to your violent crimes, your murders, your rapes, your robberies, and whatever. And it goes back again to interacting with the community, getting the officers out of the cars to interact with them. But not only the officers, I would lead the charge from the front. I would be out in the community, not only walking the beat, I would be riding the beats as well as time permits. I would have a marked police car riding around, interacting with the communities. But not only that, Shannon, I would require that my senior staff do the same thing. Because at the end of the day, no matter how high you go in rank, at the end of the day, you're still a soldier, and you still have to know what got you where you are.
Have you approached the Fraternal Order of Police yet about seeking their endorsement?
I've actually interviewed with the Fraternal Order of Police. They've not gotten back with me yet, and you know, I understand their role, and I think they have a very important role when it comes down to collective bargaining and protecting the rights of the officers, but not gotten back. They haven't gotten back with me yet.
What do you think about the contract that the union just rejected? The contract proposed a 2% pay cut and for members to contribute 5% of their health care. FOP unanimously rejected. What do you think of that contract?
Well,
should they have rejected it?
Well, I can't speak for all 1,800 people that actually voted on it, but I think that everybody needs to take a strong look at how things are going with the economy, with pension reform, and I think that we need to really really need to come together and make a sound decision, because what's going to eventually happen is, if they can't agree, it's going to go to city council, and then they're going to dictate to them what is going to be done, and they don't have any say-so with it.
If you were sheriff, would you have wanted them to approve that particular contract?
I would have wanted them to approve that particular contract, because it's a start. It's a start. We're all having to tighten our belts. There are people that are unemployed, and I'm not for taking money out of people's pockets, but when you look at the big picture, when you look at having someone to dictate to you how it's going to be done, when you're in control and you have an opportunity to be in control of it, I think that's better.
All right, in just 30 seconds here, how long into, let's say you're elected, how long into your administration is there a noticeable turnaround in crime and in bridging this gap that you say exists with the public?
I think we can begin right away in bridging the gap, interacting with the community, and putting in some programs and doing a lot of positive things, a lot of fresh energy going out there. And I think we can see a noticeable improvement within 18 months.
Ken Jefferson, so nice to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
Good in the striped suit rather than that uniform.
Just my work clothes.
All right, nice to see you. Ken Jefferson. Well, St. Augustine played an important role in the civil rights movement in the 1960s, and as we approach Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we're going to examine that role and have some very moving photographs. That's next.